Yup. What's good, fam? Back at it live and direct. I know I've been cooked. You know what I'm saying? I haven't streamed for the past 2 days. I knew I promised y'all stream every day, but my schedule just keeps fucking changing, man. I'm really been out here trying to optimize things with content, planning stuff for the future with the content I'm gonna make for the fam. So like my schedule's been changing a lot. So I'm like, I really want to stream, but like I can't because I gotta plan this out. I gotta make sure I get this rest and do all these kind of different things. So, but eventually we're going to get to a point where the schedule really stabilizes so I can really go hard and actually be able to stream every day for at least an hour a day, every single day. Maybe beyond that in the future, of course, streaming longer, depending on how like content stabilizes. We'll see. We'll see. So yeah, we're back at it again. We're going to keep going over the Myron Tate and Fuentes interview that they had because there's still valuable stuff I want to get out of there. But even before we even get into that, because there's just news, there's just shit going on that I want to go over that I think is relevant to the fam or important for you guys to understand. You know what I'm saying? To keep you guys head on the swivel and make sure you guys are achieving your goals or reaching the peak of your power, of course. So you know how we do it. So first thing I wanted to kind of talk about was this whole Raja Jackson situation. So basically there was a situation where this famous boxer son actually ended up getting into an altercation with this pro wrestler and ended up almost killing him and was just punching him while he was down and unconscious. And I'll show you guys the video right now so you guys have context about what the fuck I'm talking about. So let me show you right here. I already had it pulled up, had it pre-pulled up. So look here. This shit is wild stuff. Hold on. That was fucking loud. Let me turn that down for y'all. Okay. Hey, you gotta stop this shit, man. So, as y'all can all see there, that was fucking crazy. Like the dude was completely knocked out, and he's just Raja's just going bam, bam, and I'm talking about like these are like full swings, by the way, my nigga. Like this is not like some just nice little jab, jab. He's full on swinging, bro, and bro is unconscious. And when you're getting smashed in the brain like that or smashed in the head like that where you're unconscious, like, bro, you could choke on your blood. Like, bro, there's just so many ways you could die that way because you're unconscious. You could stop breathing. Like, there's so many problems with this. And obviously, the entire internet has been seeing it and talking about it or whatever because it went crazy viral. So, the main point that I actually wanted to drag out of this for y'all, and just important for the fam and all you guys, for accomplishing your goals, and just generally the way you're operating as a man, is that you need to realize that you are not your emotions, right? Because the main reason why he did this, to give you guys a bit of backstory here, is because the pro wrestler saw Raja come into the building. He thought he was a part of the whole pro wrestling act because wrestling is fake, y'all. If y'all didn't already know that, it's fake. It's just, regular, and it's just fake entertainment. Like it looks like it's real, but it's not actually real, just for entertainment purposes, right? So he thought Raja was a part of the act when this pro wrestler came in. So he like crushed a can on his head, like, starting to get things riled up. It's like, you're trying to make it seem like something that it's not because it's fake. You want to rile everybody up. You want to make it seem like they're actually beefing or whatever. So Raja didn't actually appreciate that because he wasn't really a part of the whole act, right? So he was then told he was going to get an opportunity to get revenge or get his get back on the dude who did this to him, even though the dude, apologized for it. He was like, oh, I didn't know that you weren't a part of the act or whatever, but Raja didn't take it that way. And then his chat, because he's a streamer, his chat was basically hyping him up, saying like, oh, look at you, bro. You're like a fake crash out. You just gonna let him do that shit to you? What the fuck? So obviously, in the nigga mind, in the nigga brain, because niggas love being violent, he was like, oh, man, I can't let this shit slide, bro. I gotta cook this dude. I don't care. So he's getting basically rage baited by his chat to go and fuck this dude up. So then that's what leads to the video that you guys just saw where he was just pummeling the fucking shit out of him, right? So the problem is this has led to him basically getting criminally investigated because he nearly killed the dude. The dude had to go to the hospital, right? So point being with giving you guys that whole context there is that you need to realize that you are not your emotions, y'all. You need to realize that you can feel anger, you can feel frustration, you can feel any of the emotions and still choose not to act on them because you're just You're just the viewer of your emotions. You're just the observer. You feel a feeling, you feel anger, you feel excitement, you feel happiness, and then you decide to take an action based off a certain feeling. You felt anger before, you felt like punching somebody in the face before and chose not to do it. So what does that mean? You are not anger. You're just viewing the anger. Because if you were your emotions, you'd be like a fucking deer outside. You just walk up in the street and the car's barreling towards you at 60 miles per hour and you're just a deer just standing there because you're just based off your impulses and your base instincts. But as human beings, we're sentient, meaning we're not our emotions. We're above them. We view them. So it's important to be able to understand this so that you don't crash out. You do not act based off your emotions here. See, the Raja guy, unfortunately, he acted based off his emotions. His chat riled him up. He just locked into his anger. He knew, like, bro, I'm going to get my revenge. I'm locked into this shit. He wasn't thinking anymore. He wasn't realizing, like, yeah, I'm angry, but I'm angry, but is this a good decision for me to go and fucking punch the shit out of this guy multiple times? And I'm not talking like fake punches like wrestling or some shit. I'm talking about real fucking punches. He wasn't thinking anymore. And you could ruin your entire fucking life for that because for him, he's on the path to becoming a professional fighter, but that might all get fucked up now because he might go to jail for what he just did. Because what he just did could be seen as attempted murder and he could get tried for that and go to jail for a while for that shit. Fucking up his career over just one emotional situation. So you guys all have to sit and train yourself too to realize that you're not your emotions. Because maybe some of you guys are not used to this and realizing this. Maybe this is the first time you ever heard somebody say this to you before, but you're not your emotions. So if you want to be able to control your anger, first you have to realize that when I feel angry, I don't have to act. And from now on, whenever you have moments where you're very frustrated or very angry and you want to do something, you have to train yourself to stop and be like, I'm not my emotions. But this also doesn't mean you have to bottle it up. You have other ways that you can express this anger. For the Raja guy, for example, instead of taking it all out on this dude, he could have just waited and be like, bruh, that fucking pissed me off. That made me so fucking mad, which is fine. And that's fine. For my next training session, I'm going to go fucking crazy. You see, in this way, he was able to, if you thought about it this way, as I just described, he would have been able to take his anger and redirect it towards something productive. If he realized, hey, I'm not this emotion, I don't have to act on this anger here and now. I could use it later. I could redirect it. Because as men, naturally, we're prone to aggression and anger. But unfortunately, the difference between a man who crashes out or a man who stays focused or stays able to be able to accomplish his goals and not be able to go to jail is based off redirection. What do you put your anger into? As long as you're putting your anger back into productive things, then it doesn't matter. For the Raja guy, he didn't put his anger back into something productive. He put it into something unproductive, which was punching the shit out of a fucking unconscious guy on the ground. Stupid. So you guys don't want to be like that. You must realize and accept you are not your emotions. You're just the reactor. So you have to train yourself every single time now, whenever you feel angry, whenever you feel frustration. No, don't just act on the immediate anger or the frustration. Think, stop, be like, okay, I'm mad. This makes me mad, but is me acting this way going to serve me? No, I'm not going to. In fact, I'm going to redirect this anger in a different way in the gym, at my next training session, whatever it is. And this is also why it's important to, of course, have an outlet in which you can express your anger. Because when men don't have an outlet where they can express their anger, they express it in ways like this, and then they end up going to jail and fucking up their entire career there. So, hope all that shit made sense. I know that was kind of a lot there, but I just want you guys to really understand that, like, you can never allow your emotions to control what you do. You can feel your emotions, but you can't let them control you. And the way you do that is by what? By realizing that you're not your emotions, you're just the observer. So, okay. So there's actually one other thing I wanted to go over quickly that I saw. And this is more like political leaning, of course, but I just think it's important for my American guys, especially who are in the fam. So let me just switch over for you guys right now and show you what I'm talking about. Hold on one second. So that we can do this. It's nice to be back streaming though, man. I think I should be able to keep it going for the rest of this week with my schedule, but we'll see, y'all. Just chill on me. Okay. So basically, Trump actually just announced or recently announced, this was like 2 days ago or a day ago, that he's going to allow that he's going to allow he has a plan to import 600,000 Chinese students, right, for college, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I have an issue with this, and the reason why I decided to bring this shit up, is basically this is bad for American men, you know? And naturally, with the fam, the information and everything I talk about with the fam and you guys being able to accomplish your goals and achieving your goals, it can work universally for all men everywhere across the world. And I would love to have all men across the world watching me. You know, I think the shit I be saying is super fucking valuable. In fact, I know this shit is valuable and I know this shit works. That's why I talk about it, you know? But at the end of the day, I am a naturalist and I love America and I love being here, you know? And of course, by extension, that means I love American men. I love the men that are here and I want them to be prioritized. So when I see shit like that from Trump, it makes me very angry because I'm like, you're prioritizing men from a completely different nation, right? And obviously women in there too, because Chinese students could be men or women. But speaking for men, there's going to be men in that group, right? So you're prioritizing these men, Chinese men, over the men that are already here, the American men that are already here. I want them. I want American men to go to the best schools. I want American men to get the best opportunities. Everybody else who's out of this motherfucker, you got to work for your shit. You migrants and immigrants, you got to work for your shit when you come here. But the American men, they get the best stuff. They should always get the best stuff, right? Because when you give American the best stuff, they're willing to do the best stuff for who? America too. And this is the benevolent cycle that's created. That's why it's annoying to see Trump do some stupid shit like this, where it's like, oh, I'm going to allow 600,000 Chinese students to come here. I'm like, nigga, what about the American men that are already here? The fuck? The fuck? Like, that just really pisses me off. And you, as an American man watching this, you should not be happy with shit like this. You know, at least mainly from a political standpoint, you should make sure that the president or whoever's in power is doing shit for you and by you, you know, and is actually doing things to show that they care about you. Him making that move is just like, I don't give a fuck about American men. They can struggle and do whatever. I'm like, nigga, what the hell? How do you want these American men to want to grow up and care about the country if you're more than willing to prioritize fucking Ching Chong in them from another country and then bring them here to go to college and go to school? Fuck no. So these are things that like you should not be all right with, and these are things that you should be paying attention to as a young man who's ambitious and wants to achieve his goals. And if that involves college, fine, right? You don't want to look at the situation. You don't want to look at the situation and be like, why the fuck is my president doing shit for the benefit of men who are not me? I'm American. I was born here. Why aren't you doing shit for me? Why are you trying to help these other niggas? It doesn't really make any sense, right? You know? So at least this is a reminder when it comes to politics, especially as a guy who's ambitious and wants to achieve his goals, you know? And of course, if you love this country, which I want all of you guys to love this country, you live here. This is America. America's the best fucking country in the world. Everybody wants to be us, right? But you also want to make sure that the country is doing right by you as a young man, you know? So this is definitely something that I don't fucking agree with because I don't think it helps y'all. And I do this shit for y'all. So it's just unfortunate to see that shit. And, you know, I hope to not see more shit like this in the future. So when you're voting and thinking about voting in the future, make sure you're aware of shit like this. You know, am I going to go vote for this president who's going to go make moves on behalf of other countries' men and give them opportunities in my country where I live? You know, these are things you want to start paying attention to. It's not really about being selfish. It's just like, if you want to benefit the country you live in, you want to make sure the country you live in is also trying to benefit you. This is the virtuous cycle of everything. If I do good things for you, I want you guys to do good things for me. It's just like, this is the cycle. But if I'm doing good things for you, like voting for you, maybe some of you guys watching this voted for Trump thinking he was going to do good things by you, you know, but he's not. He's prioritizing other people other than you. That's like, nigga, I don't want to vote for a nigga like this again. Stupid. So, you know, that's just important shit that I want you guys to think about when it comes to politics. Is like, okay, is this person I'm going to vote for, do they actually care about me? Like, do they give a fuck about me? Are they going to make decisions for me? If they're not, fuck off. So, anyway, that shit was just so super gay to me. I didn't even play the video for y'all. I just got right into it, but like, it's just stupid. You know, just so stupid to me. All right. Let's go to the interview now. Back to where we left off. Let's see what I can pick up from here. Hold on, yo. All righty. All right. Y'all see this? Cool. Okay. Excuse me. All right, let's get it.
Let's see here. Okay, here's a good one that I want to. So, what do you guys think is the most misunderstood position that you hold? Right, that people always mischaracterize. If you do an interview, it's almost guaranteed to fucking come up, right? And knowing what you know now, how would you reframe it? I can go ahead and go first here on this one. So one of the positions that people always get fucking pissed off at me about is I say, need to have sex with 50 women before you start thinking about even getting married, right? Make 6 figures a year, have at least half.
And also remember this part, I went over before, at least from the when this like first got streamed, like I went over this part again. I'm just thinking maybe maybe there's something else I can pull out of this that I wasn't thinking of during that time when I was first going over it. So I'm just hearing it like a little bit more again. I think they'll even be done soon here. Yeah, it's a little less than an hour before they'll be done. Yeah, like 30 minutes or so. Anyway.
A year of savings in a bank account somewhere, be in good shape. Obviously be 35 years old or older, and then have 50 women. Now, no one really argues with me about the 4 things I mentioned before, but when I talk about having sex with 50 girls, people really harping on that 50 number and say that's degenerate, blah, blah, blah.
Which is stupid.
But the reason why I say that is because I want guys to be in a position where sex is no longer novel to them, right? So that they can be in a position of dominance where their girl can't leverage sex against it for compliance, right? This happy wife, happy life bullshit, right? Just because I understand how feminism and modern women in general have changed the dating dynamic or the marriage dynamic to the point where we got people that are religious like Nick that can even acknowledge it. So a lot of people mischaracterize that position. It's like, oh, it's got to be a hard 50. Look, dude, it could be 5. It could be 1. But my point is I just need you to get to a point where sex is no longer novel to you and your wife can't hold it against you. So that's my position that people always fucking misconstrue and try to attack me on. But when I actually explain it full through, then they're like, oh, that makes sense. But you know how people are. They watch clips. They don't watch full content ever. So what would you guys say?
Because even right there, too, like I would completely agree with that completely. I don't think you should never be letting a woman control your life. And unfortunately, if you do not get a lot of bitches, women tend to start controlling your life. That's the issue. That's the biggest issue. Because let me explain this. When you don't get a lot of sex from women, now they can leverage sex over you. And when they can leverage sex over you, you start to prioritize them over your mission, over your success, over your goals. Understand? That's bad. That's really stupid. That's bad. This is why it's important for you to be able to deal with many chicks or to have been dealt with many chicks before. The reason why this is important is because it puts you in a position where you're not overly concerned about her, because you can replace her. This is why I've said many times for you guys now that I want you guys to spin plates. I want you guys to fuck with a lot of girls. None of this relationship shit. That shit, those days are over. You're selling yourself short as a man if you want to just have this one relationship for the long term. Yes, it's ideal. Yes, it would be cool, but we're not living in a time where that really makes sense anymore. These bitches are not holding up their end of the bargain anymore. So it's a bad position for you. You're putting yourself in an extreme disadvantage. If you've dealt with a lot of chicks before, now women can't control you anymore. They can't leverage sex over you. Because let's be real. The only reason why we as guys, especially when we're ambitious and want to achieve shit, we deal with chicks is for sex. We don't really give a fuck about what else they got going on. Keep it a complete and utter stack. We'd rather just hang out with the homies. When it comes to sex, though, of course, yes, we want to go deal with girls. But outside of that, we do not give a fuck. So with that being said, you want to make sure you deal with chicks enough to where sex doesn't matter to you anymore. You don't have to care about it, right? It doesn't necessarily mean, yes, you have to sleep with 50 girls, 20 girls, 100 girls. It could be a couple. It could be 10. It could be 10 or 20. But you just have needed to have dealt with enough chicks before to the point that you're not overly concerned about sex. Because now what can you do if you're not overly concerned about sex? Focus on your goals. Focus on doing the work you need to do. Focus on reaching the peak of your power as a man. Because it takes focus to do those things. And when women just end up being a distraction. If you haven't dealt with them a lot. Do you guys understand? The more you deal with women, the less you're going to care about sex. And if you care about sex a lot less, you'll focus on your goals a lot more. Understand? You know, this is also why I say, like, you want to have 2 months out of like a year in which you were dealing with chicks and talking to a lot of girls. 2 months out of the entire year. Obviously, you're spending the entire 12, the entire 10 months of your year just focusing on your goals only. You're just grinding. And then you have 2 months where you relax and fuck around with chicks. You know, this is way as you're building up your success, you're not putting yourself in a position where you're just building up your success and then boom, you marry some dumb thought and then she takes half your shit after. Dumb. It's very stupid. You want to get experience with women as you're building up your success. Obviously, like I just said, it's like 10% of your year in which you do that. And then the other 90% is just grind. So now as you build your success and become more successful, you've dealt with chicks before. You have no problem. You know what I'm saying? You have no problem with them. They can't manipulate you. They can't control you. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to control your life. This way you constantly stay at your peak forever as a man. You know, these bitches are no longer coming into your life and adding a shit ton of value. So you just need to understand them so they can't manipulate you for you to be able to lose your value, right? Because the minute you start listening to a woman, that's the minute that your success starts dropping. Understand? So this is why it's important for you to deal with many chicks and to spin plates and have fucked with a lot of girls, you know, as you're building your success, because it puts you in a position where, okay, bitches can't control me anymore. So I'll be able to maintain my success for the long term. So yeah, man, that shit is just super important to understand, y'all. All right, let's keep going.
Is one of your positions that's always fucking mischaracterized.
Let me add this.
And you got to clarify. And then if you could do it again, how would you reframe it now, knowing what you know?
Okay. I mean, it depends on where it's coming from. With regard to the normie crowd, it's like everything, and it's always been everything. You know, they mischaracterize my position on race, Israel, women, you name it. Or if it's from the right, I would say the biggest one is that I'm an extremist. I mean, I don't think I'm an extremist at all. I think I'm moderate. It's kind of like my new thing. Because I talk to these people and they're anticipating me to be like a caricature of a skinhead or something like that. And when it really comes down to it,
bro, it's like even in today's day and age, bro, there's no more extremists, bro. Like we do not have extremists anymore, bro. Extremists be killing people, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Extremist niggas are always like, to me at least, what I've seen from a political standpoint or just any real standpoint for the most part, someone is only extreme when they start killing niggas, bro. Once somebody says we need to start murdering a certain group of people, then you're extreme. Violence is pretty much as extreme as you can get. Let's just be real, right? Dropping nukes on people, shooting people, executing people. That's when you're most extreme. When you're fucking flying planes into buildings, that's when you're most extreme. You're not really that extreme unless it involves death or murder. If you're just talking about things and being critical of things, you're not an extremist, bro. Like how, like you're just saying words. You're not even killing anybody. Like no one's dying from you talking. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody dies from you talking. You're just saying words. It's only once you say, hey, let's go kill someone. Hey, you go and murder this person. That's when it becomes, okay, you're being extreme. That's an extreme measure. Killing is the line. You know, I would assume a lot of you guys even resonate with this idea. Like killing is usually the line. Like you can pretty much say and do everything up until you're like, let's hurt someone. Then it's bad. Then it's like, okay, bro, you're being too extreme. You know, for whatever your position is for anything, whether it's women, politics, or whatever, it's just like once you start saying, well, we should just kill these people. Like that's when you start becoming extreme, unless obviously it's in defense. Like if they start killing you, you defend yourself by killing them. Okay, makes sense. But otherwise, if you're just sitting there and then now you're promoting violence, saying let's murder these people, then you're extreme. It's just funny that anyone even uses the word extremist. It's like you're an extremist because you talk. How the fuck are you an extremist because you speak? Like there ain't nothing dangerous about that. You're just talking. You know, it's only becomes dangerous, like I just said, once you are promoting violence or engaging in violence yourself, bro. If you want to see who's an extremist, hood niggas are extremists, bro. What hood niggas be rapping about? Them niggas are extreme. That's an extremist, bro. They go out and they rap about the shit that they do. They go out and actually murder their ops, bro. That's extreme. Political commentators and shit like that, they can't be extremists. They're not out here killing people and talking about murdering people. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that's kind of funny when people even say that, like, oh, you know, this person's an extremist. I'm like, but they don't promote violence. They don't say to murder anybody. They might make an edgy joke or whatever, which is just, once again, a joke. It's just a joke. It's not like do this. Anyway, I just find that interesting, bro.
With regard to all these different issues, I think that what is called far right, what is called anti-Semitic, what is called white supremacist, it's really just reality. You know, I had a clip that went viral over the past couple of weeks where I'm talking about black people in Chicago. And we emerged from a time recently where there was so much political correctness around the subject of race and race relations between blacks and whites.
Yeah, that was the whole 2020 period, bro. That shit was low-key OD, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
And so I think the conversation is sufficient now. People see my take, and what I'm saying is like, look, the city is a shithole, and it's a shithole because you got carjackings happening all the time. It's because you have this like impropriety everywhere.
And niggas are doing that. Like, let's just keep it a stack, bro. It's niggas, bro. It's niggas. Like, it's niggas. It's me. I'm doing it. It's like that. But understand, bro, like that's what it is.
Where, you know, we talk about black people in America, people talk about fatigue, you know, fatigue from dealing with black people.
Yeah.
It's like we all know in our lived experience in our day-to-day, what we can expect from black people is people being inconsiderate, people being rude, aggressive, menacing, not following the rules.
And it's just annoying too, bro. Especially when you're actually black, you know, and you're calm, you know what I'm saying? And you don't partake in any of the nonsense or the degeneracy. It's just like, fuck. Now I just look bad. Now I'm walking across the street knowing I'm a nice citizen. And then somebody sees me and they want to cross the street. I'm like, damn. Shit, bruh. I wasn't even going to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? But it's the unfortunate reality. And this is why it's really annoying when I see black people who are not critical of other black people. Because I'm like, all you're doing is allowing them to continue to do dumb shit that makes all of us look bad. You're not helping anyone. It's really fucking annoying. It's really annoying. You know, I try to go in and out of my way to represent the black race in the best light I can. You know what I'm saying? With everything that I do. You know, I want us to look nice. I want us to look clean and move in a way in which we can be respected. I've said many times before that black people as a race, and especially black men, have the most potential out of any race in this country. If literally we just got rid of the crime and the single mama shit and the way that the community operates and what it celebrates, we would be cooking. We'd be insane. We're already like the best entertainers already. We're already the best entertainers. The problem is that immediately gets shut down and gets ridiculed because then we celebrate shooting each other, baby mama drama, all the dumb shit. Like we literally celebrate all the dumb things. You know, when we have this other side of us that we're very capable from an entertainment standpoint, but then we have this other side of us that's horrible, that nobody wants to associate with, that everybody's scared to be around. I'd be scared to be around other black people, bro. I'd be scared. I'm worried as fuck. You know? Obviously, you're always going to have your couple hood dudes who are pretty chill and really fucking funny, of course. Like, that's always lit to be around. But on the other end of this, you're going to always have the niggas that, like, you don't know what's going to go down. Easily ticked off about anything, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why you can't go to a black function. I'm like, bro, I ain't going there. Only niggas, I ain't going there. I got no time for it, bro. I don't know who's in here. I don't know who got a short fuse. I don't know who got nothing to lose in here because there's definitely a nigga in here that ain't got nothing to lose. So it's just, it's annoying. It's really fucking annoying, you know? And the only way this fucking changes is if there's many more black people that are more than willing to be critical of other black people, especially in positions of power. You know, it's just unfortunate because when you become a black celebrity, what I've noticed, like you kind of fall in two directions when you become a black celebrity. Like, it's weird. It's like you kind of have to make a choice once you become famous as a black man, right? You have a choice to make. It's either you become pro-black completely, meaning, which really translates to, I am afraid to be critical of the degeneracy and the dumbass shit that black people do, the backwards shit that black people do. I'm not going to be critical of any of those things. I'm going to say everything is good, and I'm going to blame everything on systematic racism and shit that doesn't even exist anymore, right? That's the one category. Or you kind of fall into the category where you're critical of black people. And this is very, very rare. This is super rare. You know what I'm saying? That you're going to see where basically black people fall into this category where they're actually able to be critical of black people. Because when you fall into this category, they call you a coon. They basically disown you. You basically get disowned. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas don't fuck with you. Obviously, the smarter niggas, you know, will start fucking with you. But it's just, there's always going to be less. And if you care more about money and you're a black man and you rise to fame, you're always going to pick the side where you're pro-black, because that's what's going to get you the most money and opportunities, and everybody's going to want to talk to you and everybody's cool with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a part of the whole psyop and the lies of, oh, black people are great and everything is because of racism. Like, you shot that nigga because of racism, blah, 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 blah. You know, you're going to fall into that camp. But if you rise to power and you're, you know, critical of black people, like, you just get shunned and kicked out of the community. So black people always just have that choice to kind of make, which is unfortunate that it's kind of like that. It's just like, you can either be pro-black and just give in to all the lies and stupid shit and all the backward shit, or you can basically be not even anti-black, of course. It's just like critical and actually care about the community. But the minute you care about the community, they shun you and call you a coon. It's so stupid, bro. It's honestly so stupid. But at least for all my black men sitting here and watching this shit, I urge all of you, as you are rising to power and becoming more capable, you know, you make sure to stay a respectable individual in all realms. You know, you don't partake in, and you're more than willing to be critical of the dumb shit that black people do, bro. Because how do you expect black people to improve if you're not willing to be able to criticize the bullshit? Like, you gotta be willing to criticize the bullshit, bro. When I see niggas do this dumb shit, I'm like, this is fucking stupid, bro. You niggas are retarded. This is dumb. This is backwards. Why do we do this? We could be doing so much better shit. What the fuck are we doing this for? It's stupid. You know? The reason why the black community is the way that it is because the pandering. We pander. Obviously, it's because it's a matriarchy too, meaning it's ruled by women. So that's obviously an issue too. But it's the constant pandering that creates the issues. And everybody's just, every fucking other race is just looking at niggas is like, bro, I never want to be around niggas. Oh, but they'll lie to your face, bro. They'll be like, oh, yeah, I love niggas. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? But they'll never hang out with y'all. They never want to be around y'all. They're scared to be around y'all. They're worried for their life around y'all. They talk shit behind your back. Everybody's racist behind there. Everybody's racist, bro. I don't even think people realize, like, everybody's racist against black people. Like, literally everybody is. And racism isn't a bad thing, because nowadays it's based off behavior. It's not based off, oh, I actually just hate you because your skin color. Shit like that died forever ago, guys. People do not judge people on skin color anymore. It's like, in the modern age, it's just about behavior. It's just about behavior now. If you behave in a nigger way, you're going to get called a nigger. That's what it is. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've ever in my life once been called a nigger, at least in a, you know, an insulting manner. Like someone was actually trying to assault me. I never once, because I've never acted like a nigger before. You know what I'm saying? Especially in public, I've never been acting like a nigger. So no one would have a reason to call me that shit. The people who were called niggers, they were acting in a certain way. They were acting in a niggerish way. Let's just be real. So anyway, I know that was a whole like side rant, but I was just thinking about that shit. Like, it's just so fucking annoying, like having to deal with that shit and seeing it, you know, as a black man myself. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, and I'm not really tribalistic like that. You know, I want us to be on a higher level of thinking. I want us to get to a point where we're on a higher level of thinking at some point. It's really annoying staying in this tribalistic race, you know, playing the race card, doing all that kind of shit. Like, it's annoying. It's annoying. Can we just, like, you know, think on a higher level? Can we not? We live in America. Can we just live by what we want America to be like? Why are we so overly worried about playing the race card? Because when you do that, it's like, you don't want to live in America. You want to live in black community. Like, you want almost black community to be your nation. It's like, I'm not a part of America. I'm part of the black community. And that's what it feels like, honestly. You know, it just feels like for a lot of black people that are scared to be critical of other black people, it's just like, oh, I just want to be in the black community. Like, I don't see the U.S. as my place. Like, I only see black people as my place. And if you want to be like that, fucking fine. I just think it's stupid. So.
And that's kind of always been my position. Is like, you know, on some level, people look at a person like myself or others and they think we want to ship all the black people out of America. We want to kill them all or something like that. And it's like, they've been here forever. They've been here for 400 years. They've been here longer than my family's been here.
And they helped build a country, bro. So.
We just want them to behave. We just want to hold everybody to a standard where people are polite, respectful, clean, you know, decent, peaceful, and the rest.
Yeah, it's like, I don't understand what's even wrong with that shit. Like, I don't. I really don't. I don't understand what's wrong with that. You know? It's just so fucking annoying because a lot of these prominent black people, they're so fucking afraid to be critical of black people, bro. Because they know they're going to lose money. That's what I was talking about with the whole FAME thing. Like, if you rise to power as a black man, like, you kind of have a route to choose. It's either you choose black people You know, you choose to be pro-black, meaning you can't be critical of anything that black people do. Like if a black person is doing some wild, outlandish shit and you are seeing that shit live, you can't say anything. You know, you can't regularly be critical of the behavior, or they'll start saying, "Oh, you're a coon for the white man," even though you're just like, don't you guys think we should just, you know, chill out? Why do we have to? Do we have to be violent? Like it won't even have anything to do with white people. Just be like, I don't really like that we're violent, y'all. Oh, you're a coon. You love the white man. It's like, all right, niggas, like, fine, kill yourselves. Like, I'm just trying to help, man.
Rest of it, and it's like, now that I'm back on these mainstream platforms, I do a monologue about it, and even the black people are all saying, yeah, I agree with him. I get where he's coming from. So-
and it's just like, the fuck? Like, it's not even hard. Like, I don't even understand how any of this shit sounds extreme. I don't even understand how any of this shit sounds extreme. You know? That's why race is always such a stupid topic to me, bro. It's like we're not even talking about anything. Some people just care about their race more than they care about America. And that's annoying. I think it's just stupid. You know, you live here and you care more about your race than you do care about America. Oh, America was built on this and that. Nigga, who cares anymore? Let's just be real. There's tons of black people who are successful now, bro. Like, it's just like, you can't talk about the past anymore. At some point, you really got to fucking give up, bro, on the past. And when I say give up, I don't mean give up on the past. I don't mean don't be aware. I mean, realize that things have changed and the opportunity is here. And if you continue to hold on to this, there is no opportunity. Everyone's just going to not fuck with you anymore. You're just going to get shunned. Like, no one's going to care anymore. You know? At least I would love to believe that there's a lot more black people that are like, I don't give a fuck about this whole victim mentality shit anymore. Like, I'm done. It's stupid. You know?
So, you know, that's just like one example. I think that we really just need to return to common sense, and not like the gay common sense like Donald Trump, where, you know, he says common sense is like no transgenderism. I'm talking about like old school racism being common sense, where it's like, yeah, we all know not all black people are bad. Yeah. We also know what's going on with them, you know, and yeah, we don't have some weird desire to like dominate women or, you know, bully them, but we're also like, yeah, they kind of need to be put in their place.
Yeah, they're being hoes, bro. Like this, like, what is even crazy about any of this to me? Like, none of this shit sounds crazy to me. As you guys just saw, I was just talking about the extreme shit earlier. Like, nobody's an extremist, bro. Literally nobody's an extremist. To me, the line between you being an extremist or not is if you are saying, let's be violent, or you are personally killing people. You know, like, unless you're committing actual terrorism, like you're not an extremist, or unless you're promoting the idea of terrorism, or you're acting on terrorism, you know, or you're acting a particular way in which you're destroying or killing people, then yeah, okay, you're an extreme nigga. It's like, this is extreme. People could die. That's extreme. Otherwise, a lot of this stuff does not sound extreme to me, bro. And none of this shit is extreme. Bitches is acting out of character. Let's be mad. Let's call a nigger when a nigga's doing some dumb shit. Let's say that, because he is. Why can't we rise to a higher level of thinking? Why do we have to fall back to racism, oppression every single time? Like, I don't understand. Nobody even, who wins in that scenario? When you just fall back on the oppression, who wins? No one. It's just stupid.
You know, they do need a strong hand. They do need someone to treat them in an assertive way.
Yeah.
And even as far as the Jews are concerned, for centuries, for millennia, we know what's going on with the Jews. Now, we don't want to kill them all. We don't want to hurt them. You know, people say you're a Nazi. You want another Holocaust? Absolutely not. At the same time, we know they fucking love Israel and they're very tribalist. Mm-hmm. Is it a good idea to have them run in Congress when they're...
Yeah, fuck no. Fuck no. It's bad. Like,
walking in with an IDF uniform? Obviously not. So we just need that kind of like old school common sense. I would say that's maybe the rebrand. I would say I'm moderate. That's the misunderstanding.
Yeah, taking trips to Israel when they should be figuring out the Epstein files, shit like that. And I'll tell you this, Nick, like, it's funny to me.
And it really is moderate, though. All this shit sounds moderate to me. None of this shit, it's funny to me. All these different things, because even when I was learning about all these different things, whether it be women, whether it be politics, whether it be Israel, whatever the fuck it is, black people, race, none of this shit has ever sounded extreme to me. At any point, hearing the truth about any of these things has never felt extreme to me. You know, I remember even back then during like 2022 or 2021 when I was first realizing like the truth about women and shit like that. I'm like, oh, you know what? Men actually are superior to women. People are like, oh, you're an extremist. I'm like, because I can just see the truth? That makes it like we are at a point now where recognizing the truth or seeing patterns means you're extreme. Basically, you know what that tells me? If nowadays the difference, you being called extremist just means you see the truth, you see patterns. That's what it means to be an extremist. So we've reached a point where everyone's brain is basically off. To not be an extremist, your brain has to be off. To not get called an extremist, to not be called racist, to not be called bigoted, to not be called anti-Semitic, to not be called transphobic, to not be called homophobic, to not be called a misogynist, your brain has to be off. Your brain got to be off. Your brain literally has to be off. There's the only way. For you not to see patterns, for you not to see the truth, you basically have to avoid seeing consistency. You have to. Because when you see the consistency, you're going to be like, yeah, I don't really think, I kind of seeing a lot of Israel in our government. That's kind of a problem. Yeah, I don't really think this whole feminism shit is really working. I think women are better when they're inferior to men. When men are superior, things work better. You know what I'm saying? This trans guy just kind of just shot up a whole school randomly out of nowhere. I don't actually really think it's a good idea to have these people who obviously have a mental illness be celebrated and paraded around. I don't think this is a good idea. Like, because I'm just seeing objectively what's happening. Oh, you're bigoted. Oh, you're racist. Oh, you're discriminatory. I'm like, nigga, I'm just seeing. I'm just using my eyes. I'm like no personal bias at all. No personal bias at all, my niggas. I'm just seeing. I'm like, well, this don't look good, man. This don't look. I'm not even formulating an opinion yet. I haven't even formulated my opinion. My opinion hasn't even been formulated. I'm just looking. I'm like, hey, man, this kind of looks inconsistent here, bro. Shouldn't we do something? Oh, no. Crazy. You know? So at least for all men, it's important to get to a point where we're in the time where you actually want to be called bigoted, discriminatory, racist, homophobic, transphobic, anti-Semitic, misogynistic. You want to be called all these words. Now, you should actually be happy to be called these words. Because what it really means now is that you see the truth. You see the light. You recognize the patterns. You recognize problems. If you're not getting labeled, you're not recognizing any problems. It means that you have submitted to the authority of others. You're basically saying, I'm not a threat. That's what it means. When you don't allow yourself to get labeled, it's basically saying, I'm not a threat. Don't worry. I'm also ignoring the truth too, guys. Don't worry. I'm right with y'all. I'm ignoring the truth too, guys. You know, I'm ignoring the obvious patterns I see. So the only way to prove yourself nowadays is to get fucking labeled. You need to get labeled. If niggas are not labeling you, you're not seeing anything. You're not seeing the light. You can't be, you know, because we're at the point where the difference between being an extremist is just, do you recognize the truth or not? You know, and I've already said a lot how I want you guys, the only way to actually be good is to be able to recognize the truth and be able to see patterns and then say the truth and then say you see the pattern, because it's the only way other people wake up too and know the truth. The truth sets us all free, y'all. So let's keep going.
Because, you know, people that aren't familiar with you or whatever, one of the first things they say is, you're friends with a white supremacist. And I'm like, you know, this guy hates black people. Why are you even around? And I'm like, that's not true. Like, he doesn't. I know him in person. I've known him for a few years now. Very cordial, very...
Like, people's brains just off. I don't know what to say. I think niggas are retarded, y'all. I think niggas are retarded. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think niggas are dumb, bro. It's at this point, bro, I think niggas are just dumb. And it's a willingness to be dumb. It's a willingness to not be a threat. Why are you hanging out with that dude? He's this. Do you even know the dude? Do you know him? Do you know him personally? Do you talk to him? Do you watch any of his stuff? Regardless of who it is. I'm saying this just in general. Like, how are you formulating an opinion about someone like this dude is this nigga? You don't even know the dude. Sure, you can comment on the actions that you see, but you don't know him personally to say he is this thing. How do you know that? You never talked to him before. You don't even watch the nigga stuff. You could easily take out whatever he's seeing out of context. You could take it out of context. It's just dumb. Like, this is all dumb. Everything is dumb. Everybody's stupid, bro. Make sure y'all not stupid, y'all. I'm telling you. It's just, bro.
Nice. And then people forget that you literally helped Ye with Ye 24. So if you were so racist, why would you be helping a black man become president of the United States?
I'm telling you, it's because bro, the impulse and the weakness in current society has led to, it's about ignoring the truth. That's what it is. It's like, basically, current society is split between people who recognize the truth and people who don't. That's it. It's just people who ignore the truth, people who recognize the truth. That's it. That's really what society is split between right now. This is why I talk about truth so much with you guys. This is why I keep talking about truth. Because that's what's splitting everybody now. You can make the most coherent, obvious argument for something, and you'll still get labeled. So what that shows is, this is not about what is real or what is reality. That's never been what this shit is about, bro. It's about, are you saying the truth or not? Are you trying to ignore reality or not? That's what this is all about now. When it comes to have any of these conversations, any of these political conversations, it's like, who's telling the truth, who isn't? That's what's splitting everybody. Stupid, bro.
So I always laugh when they say this stuff, when they say that dumb shit. But what about you, Andrew? What would you say is one of your positions that's always mischaracterized whenever you do interviews? I know a lot of people, there's a bunch with you, I know they mischaracterize.
Yeah, but none of the mischaracterizations are genuine. None of them are genuine mischaracterizations. It's define people hoax all over again. Yeah. It's the wrap-up smear. They do it on purpose, and they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
They take something you've said.
It's about controlling narratives. It's not about, bro. One thing that's, I think, is really unfortunate that I've realized growing up is how willing people are to, like, lie. Like, niggas really love lying about important shit. I'm not talking about some, like, you're growing up and your parents told you Santa Claus is real and Santa Claus isn't real. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about some shit like that. Just important shit, politically speaking, right? Like, a lot of these things that, like, people believe are just dangerous. One of the primary reasons why women are so depressed nowadays is because they've been sold a lie. They've been sold this lie that, you know, what is best for women is for them to be independent from men, to be able to do whatever the fuck that they want to do. They don't need a family. They don't need kids. They just need a career. So why are all these women on antidepressants? Lies. Because of lying. That's why. They were lied to. They were sold a lie. That's why. I'm like, this is a lie that's ruining women's lives. This is stupid. Why are we lying to them about this? You see what I'm saying here? It's like I was growing up and realizing, like, niggas just love to lie horribly in ways that really ruin people's fucking lives. I'm like, the fuck? Like, the fuck is going on? I didn't realize, like, because at least for me, throughout high school, especially, I think in high school especially, I was like, I just want to know what is correct. Like, I understood the fact that everybody has different opinions about shit, but what is real? What is consistently true? When I say, like, what is real? What is the truth? I'm like, what is consistent? What can I observe that's like 1 + 1 = 2? Like, that's what I'm constantly looking for. Like, just obsession with knowing the truth. Because I also understood, like, when I know what's true, I can actually make decisions. You can't make decisions when you don't know what's true, guys. You can't. You can't. For regardless of whatever you're trying to do in your life, if you have beliefs that are not true, you can't outwork that bad belief. There's nothing you can do. So you have to find out what's true first, and then you can make a good decision, right? So for me, I've just always been obsessed with the truth in that way. You know, as I've grown more and seen a lot more about politics, I've come to realize, like, niggas are just lying about wild shit. Because then when I go do my own research, I have my own experiences, you know, and see and recognize the patterns. I'm like, why are niggas lying about this? It's either niggas are just evil or ignorant. And it's a mix of both for sure. So it's unfortunate, but this is why I talk about truth so much. I just keep saying truth. Because it's really all that matters, bro. As I just said, you can only make decisions if you know what's true. You can't make decisions if you don't know what's true. If I lie to you, how can you make a choice? I removed your ability to have a choice. You know?
and they take a small part of it and they take it out of context and they repeat it over and over and over again. As I said, the whole Christian, even the Jewish right wing, no one had a problem with me really till I talked about October 8th, and they had a huge issue with me all of a sudden. And it was all instant and overnight, and it changed instantly and completely. So
just what I'm saying, like, that's how you know, like, this isn't about what's true. You know, this is about how I feel. This is not about what's true. It's crazy, but it's so easy to tell when someone's just avoiding the truth. It's super easy, you know, and maybe it's just gotten a lot easier for me because I've just always been obsessed with this. So it's so obvious to me when someone's like hiding some shit or someone's trying to lie. I'm like, oh, bro. Like, if someone's bringing all these facts to you and you have no way to refute it except for labeling somebody, I'm like, oh, cooked. Like, this nigga is not interested in the truth. People who are interested in finding the truth have conversations. Like, it's really lit to see two people talk who are actually trying to find the truth about something. And they're having a discussion like, okay, this is what I've seen. And then you're talking to the other guy, and the guy's like, oh, this is what I've seen. And you guys are bringing, you know, your information together, and, you know, you're finding something. But people who don't want to actually know the truth about something will just label you, say you're this, you said this, and mischaracterize you, take shit out of context. They'll be really disingenuous. Because the goal is not actually to find the truth. The goal is to label and put you in a box so everyone sees you this way. It's about control. It's always about controlling narratives in politics. It's not about the truth in politics. It's about controlling narratives. It's about labeling. It's about making people look to be a certain way, to control the populace. You know, this is why I tell you guys to always question everything and pay attention, you know, because everyone is pushing their own personal narrative around things. Because everybody has their own different loyalties. And when you have different loyalties, the only way you can protect your loyalties is by lying and pushing different types of narratives. You know, the biggest one you're probably now seeing in today's modern age is the whole Israel thing. A lot of these Republican influencers, you know, or Republican politicians, they have to like put up these smear tactics and dodge facts and the truth to defend an indefensible position. So
none of it's genuine. And, you know, Nick's pointing out very basic pattern recognition. That's why humans are alive. We learned the pattern recognition that if you go near the tiger, you get eaten by the tiger. If you eat that plant, it's poisonous. It's fucking pattern recognition at this point. It's not racism. It's not anti-Semitism. The things we're pointing out are simply very well-known pattern recognition, and people are too afraid to say them.
Yeah, then that's what it is. That's why I keep saying it's never like, bro, these are just true things. Like, I don't understand. Like, why are we arguing? These are just true things.
Well, I don't think any of my viewpoints are genuinely misunderstood. I don't believe I could have said them in any other way to make people understand them. I believe no matter how I said it, they would have taken it, twisted it, and weaponized it. And one of the things that's most important you have to understand about the world is when they weaponize things against you, they always weaponize virtue. They're not going to weaponize the fact that, you know, they're not going to sit there and pretend that you're a bad person unless they get to be a great person. So they're going to come along and pretend they give a shit about women so much so they can attack me. And they're going to come along and pretend they give a fuck about the Holocaust so they can attack Nick and you guys and me. It's all just weaponized virtue garbage. It's the oldest trick in the book.
It's the main thing. And this is the main liberal playbook, by the way. Liberals love doing this. This is like literally liberals' favorite tactic, or the less favorite tactic, to just weaponize virtue. Oh, I'm trying to do this very, very good thing. Look at all the behavior. I'm like, oh, you're actually doing all these bad things. These things don't work. You know, you're saying you're trying to do this good thing, but we're telling you, no, it's going to lead to this very bad thing. And you're like, well, you're a bad person because you pointed it out. I pointed out the fact that what you're trying to do is going to lead to these bad things. And that makes me a bad person because I'm trying to prevent bad things from happening. You see what I'm saying? It's like, it's about narrative control.
Well, a lot of people still fall for it. So if you're going to tell the truth in this world, if you're going to sit there and say, yeah, this is the actual reality of what's happening, you're always going to get pinned with some bullshit, no matter how you say it. And the most important thing you can...
It's just narrative control. People want to control narratives when you tell the truth.
Do is not give a fuck and double down.
Yeah.
Every time I got in trouble, the BBC used to print articles about my emergency meetings when I said racist words. So then I started saying them 15 times a show, so many times that they can't print it anymore. You can't do the same article every fucking day, nigger. So I just kept doing it. You have to double down on it. And a lot of people are afraid to do that because of the backlash. But no matter what you try and do and say, they're just going to attack you with it all day long.
Speaking of mischaracterized positions, and I kind of want to throw this to Nick real quick, because I think I've been seeing so many people.
We'll go for about like 6 more minutes. It's nice to get a good hour in for you guys, though.
talk about this, and I don't think they give you a fair shot. So we got a lot of people watching right now. By the way, guys, if you're watching on Fresh Fit, I'm going to switch over to Myron Gaines X on both Rumble and YouTube. So come on over. I'm going to end the Fresh Fit stream here in a second. But I'm going to ask this question first. So, Nick, a lot of people say that you are a undercover Dem. You used to support Trump. Now you don't support him. You have an issue with J.D. Vance.
And honestly, bro, I'm not going to lie. Because even, like, just to give you guys my own political positions here, because I feel like I haven't really sat here and explained it to y'all yet. So, for me, it's not like I'm necessarily Republican or Democratic or even, well, I would say I'm pretty conservative. I'm conservative, you know. I would almost call myself a progressive conservative because I'm completely okay with new ideas. I actually really love new ideas. I love new things. I love us wanting to try new things. You know, maybe this is more of me thinking from a entrepreneurial and business standpoint. Like, new things are good. New things help people. We should love creating new things. This is why I invite things like AI and all these new ideas, at least from a technological standpoint. I think these are good. You know, I want humanity to continue to advance. I want humanity to continue to exist. And the only way we can continue to exist is if we're willing to evolve in terms of our actions and ideas. I have no problem with that. I like all that shit. So I'm progressive in that kind of way. You know, for me, what I don't like is when we try to force bad ideas. That's what I have an issue with. Or when we try to remove things that work, right? For example, we have men working, women at home. This worked. That was working. Everything was great. But for some reason, we convinced women, you know, that, actually, you should be an independent woman. You should work on your own. You should not give a fuck about men. Who cares? It's like, why did we do this? Like, why? And what's worse is that we were seeing it's not working. We're seeing it's not working, and we're continuing to do it. It's like you're seeing someone's retarded, and you just keep doing it. You're an insane-ass nigga. What the fuck are we doing? This is dumb as fuck. So that's when I kind of have issues, you know? So it's like I'm conservative in the sense of let's keep ideas that work, but be willing to try new things, you know, because this is how we continue to evolve. And this is also why the U.S. is the greatest country in the world, because we have the freedom to try new things that we've never tried before. It's the only way we can evolve. If we don't try anything new, we'll go extinct. You know, we want to keep evolving. We're thinking about the future and future generations beyond us. So we have to be willing to try new things. But when we recognize something new is not working, we can't keep pushing the idea. We can't keep pushing the idea. Once the facts have been laid out, once the evidence has been laid out, we can't say, oh, this is good. Let's just keep doing it. Let's keep pushing feminism, even though everyone's becoming sadder and more depressed and everything is cooked. Let's just keep doing it. It's like stupid. No, we should actually stop. And it's not that necessarily we need to go back to the way things were. Nothing ever goes back, niggas. That never, ever happens ever with anything. No one has ever went back. Nothing has ever looked the same ever in history. Everything evolves. Things, you know, history flows in kind of a pattern in terms of what happens with humanity and shit, but the variables are always different. So things are always changing. So at least from that standpoint, I would just say, like, I'm a progressive conservative, you know. I love new ideas, but I only love new ideas that actually work. And I want to maintain ideas that actually do work. You know, I love the Constitution. I want the Constitution to say the same. The Constitution is great. The amendments are great. I love that shit. Let's keep it. Let's keep it everything the same. But this doesn't mean we can't evolve in ways of our technology or our policies. You know, if we want to try this new policy that we've never tried before, you know, let's try it. Let's see what happens. Let's see how it works. If we realize it doesn't work, we should change this. This is stupid. Understand? It's like, it's really very simple, you know? So I don't know what aisles that kind of puts me on. It doesn't mean like, oh, I want to vote Democrat or I want to vote Republican. Like, I don't really care. I'm just more looking, I'm like, okay, who is aligning with the ideas that are good, that we should maintain, and also is willing to try these other new ideas that could be good? That's kind of where I'm looking at when it comes to voting and, like, you know, who I'm interested in from a political standpoint. You know, I'm not saying you niggas have to be like that. I'm just more saying so you guys kind of understand more about me and how I kind of look at politics. I'm like, okay, who is keeping the ideas that are good? And they're also willing to push new ideas that we haven't tried before. That's what I'm kind of looking at, you know. But when it comes to different styles that I believe don't work, I'm like, let's not fucking do this, you know. For example, like communism. I don't think communism works. Why? Why don't I think communism works? Well, when I see it done to its extreme, it doesn't work because humans are naturally competitive. We can't force everybody to have the exact same shit because some guys want to work harder than other guys. That's why we have the FYAM. This is why this is for young, ambitious men. But not all men are ambitious. you know? So there's going to be a discrepancy in terms of performance of outcomes. You guys are going to get higher outcomes than the average man because you guys are willing to work harder than the average guy. Understand? And human beings are naturally like that. As men, we're naturally competitive, you know, because that's how we reproduce. That's how we perform for females. Like we have to be competitive because that's how we get opportunities with women. That's how we work and mate, you know. So that's just an example of what I'm talking about. Like, let's not use ideas that don't work. Capitalism makes sense naturally because men are naturally competitive. And if we can be competitive while also benefiting other people, that's good. Everybody wins in that scenario. This is why we're a capitalistic society. This is why we're the best country in the world. Understand? So it's maintaining the good ideas, you know, and stopping bad ideas that don't work anymore and then adding in a new idea that actually does work. So that's kind of how I view politics in the way, you know, I operate with governance and shit like that. You know, like what works, what doesn't work. You know, and it all ties in with understanding, you know, how humans work in general as a whole. So anyway, with that being said, that's actually a great place to even stop. You know what I'm saying? Great place to kind of stop. We just hit an hour. So, you know what I'm saying? We're just going to shout out all the socials and I'll be out of here. I think we should be good to go again tomorrow. No problems, no questions asked about that. We should be good. You know, I think my schedule is going to be able to start to actually fully stabilize. So, yeah, that'll be cool. All right, let me just get this shit up for you guys so I can show you. And then we could just be good to go, man. We'll be on our way. I'll let you guys go on your way. And yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Okay, we got the extreme up. Okay, good. All right, hold on, y'all. Okay. Bada bing, bada pow. Okay, just make sure you guys see that. Prezi mode. Boom! You know what I'm saying? Check out your boy on the YouTube, Ali Argudade. You know what I'm saying? We keep cooking on here, dropping videos for you guys all the time about achieving your goals, what it takes to be successful all the fucking time on here. You know what I'm saying? Also taking clips from the live streams too, because the shit I talk about in here is obviously very important for you guys to understand. So, you know, check out your boy, Ali Argudade. I've actually noticed when I search up Ali Argudade on YouTube, it doesn't really come up. You know, obviously we got to get bigger. I got to get my clout up for that shit. So if you don't ever see it, you could just also search up FYAM Podcast, you know, and the links for all my stuff are down below too in the Rumble description as well. It should be in the YouTube description as well since I'm streaming on there. But yeah. All right. Now shout out to the IG. Same handle, same shit. Just shorter form versions of like my success tips and shit like that. Ali Argudade. You know how we do it. And then of course, X2. You know what I'm saying? Trying to keep cooking hard on here. This is where I have a lot of my political opinions and shit like this. Like I've said right here about this one girl who's talking about how like migrants aren't a problem in Britain, which they actually fucking are. So I'm like, she says this dumb shit because she doesn't mind becoming a sex slave only once Britain is fully taken over by Ahmed and no more, which is true, to be honest. So got one like on the stream. So if you are watching this, of course, like the fucking stream. You know what I'm saying? Trying to grow everywhere, trying to grow the fam everywhere. I think the shit that I be doing is fucking important and guys need to hear this shit. So let's do last but not least here. Last but not least, check out your boy on the tick of the talk. Check out your boy on here. You know what I'm saying? Try to grow up on here too. Ali Argudade, even if you don't have TikTok, download that shit just for your boy so we can grow the fam everywhere, of course. And yeah, man. So if you don't do anything else or you're watching our Rumble, like the fucking Rumble stream so more guys can see this shit and watch your boy talk about shit that's going to make you more successful and honestly just turn you into a man because we lack men nowadays and we need more men to actually be men, of course. So that's why I spit. You know what I'm saying? That's why I talk the shit that I do. So yeah, bro. So with that being said, I'll catch you boys in the next stream, more than likely tomorrow. But we'll see what happens. I think we're good with the schedule, but we'll see what happens. So, all right, man. Deuces. Peace out, fam.